Hi, my name is Joe from Sonitrol, and I want to thank you for taking the time to let me introduce you to our technologies. Our goal today is not to sell you an alarm system. It's simply to introduce you to verified technologies. Police departments across North America are implementing a policy where they no longer respond to conventional alarms. So it's prudent that you understand that the conventional alarm you use today is not going to get a police response. Beyond that, I'm going to teach you how ineffective they actually are, and I'm going to show you how effective Sonitrol can be. At Sonitrol, we offer integrated services. We do audio intrusion systems. We call it active audio. We're not like Alarm Force, that stuff that says, please identify yourself, the police have been dispatched. How farcical is that? We listen to active things, but I'll teach you more about that in a bit. We do intrusions, or we do access control systems where we control entry to gates and doors. We do retinal reads, matrix reads, swipe read, prox reads, any kind of read you want to use. We can actually integrate your existing. The beauty of our access control is that it's integrated with the burglar alarm. So doors don't automatically unlock and open if the alarm has been turned on, meaning if you don't show up for work, the doors don't unlock. It's central station managed, which means our folks can make changes to the system as you require. It's not a PC run-based system where you must show up to your office and do the adds, changes, and deletions as you terminate people. We also run a program where our customers can actually dial in remotely across the internet and get activity information on who came and went through doors, who turned the alarms on and off. It's very powerful. Beyond that, we do video surveillance. We use infrared cameras that actually see in the dark. They actually are color when light is present. They're black and white when there is no light. A good shot of it is this picture here where we can see that this is a equipment compound after hours. It's 2:37 in the morning. There's absolutely no light in this compound. And what we're able to see in the dark is a vehicle drive in. With video surveillance, we can actually to anything that moves and heat and be able to tell the police exactly what's occurring. It's really the only way to protect a compound. The conventional alarm industry will attempt to use beams and motion sensors that are easily defeated and false alarm all the time. Sonovision allows us to actually see what's happening as it's happening and give the police intelligent information. It's very powerful. We're also in the fire protection business. We do monitored fire systems as per your regulations by your municipality. So full service, regardless of what it is you need to do, our folks are trained security consultants. We didn't sell aluminum siding or photocopiers yesterday and decide security is a good thing to get involved in. We can teach you the physical things from fences and gates and bollards and window film and laminated glass to make your building more challenging to gain entry to or your compound more difficult to get into, to all of the things that will actually allow us to properly protect your facility with audio and your external compounds with video. This is a little thing that's going to show you the difference between a conventional alarm and what we do. And when I talk about a conventional alarm, it's the guys with motion sensors, glass break detectors, photo beams. Every alarm company you've ever dealt with, they all sell the same stuff. It's all made by the same manufacturer, and it's going to be private labeled as being Protection 1 or NatGuard or ADT or Chubb. Sonitrol makes equipment, installs the equipment, and monitors equipment. And we couldn't bring ourselves to sell you this kind of technology simply to get the deal. The problem with a conventional alarm, first off, is the perp or the criminal must gain entry to the building before there's an opportunity to detect them. The problem is that motion sensors or passive infrareds only see 15 feet with an 8-foot end-of-sight radius, which is what this triangle is showing you. Very easy for a criminal to gain in a building and evade these sensors because, again, the conventional alarm industry are Me Too product sales. You're going to buy the cheapest one. So what they do is they limit they actually put into a facility and tell you that it's going to protect your building because they're at the principal points of entry, which are your doors. The reality is that I'll come through your roof, I'll come through your walls, I'll come through your windows. I won't go anywhere near a motion detector. How do I know where they are? I'm an employee, I'm a courier, I'm a contractor, I'm a salesman who visits your site. I know where your devices are. Or simpler than that, I just show up to where the touchpad is at your front door and I flip down the cover. And I look right inside and it says, motion, office, motion, warehouse. You tell them where your stuff is because it's all at the front door. It's very, very simple. Remember, 4% of the criminal community commit 95% of the criminal activity, and they look like us. They're not necessarily losers. Or crime is a very lucrative business. They know what they're doing. They tend to be educated, so they know how to look for all this stuff. But back to where we were. I come through your roof, your walls, your windows. I go through your facility, nowhere a motion sensor. There will be no alarm. If I move slower than 2 steps per second through the face of a heat and motion sensor, it will never trip. That's the sensitivities that are built into them so that when vertical blinds and plants and fluctuations in heat occur, we don't get false alarms from these devices. They only see 15 feet with an 8-foot end-of-sight radius. So again, fully tuned. When you have enough false alarms that annoy you, that 2:37 in the morning wake-up call, guess what? You're going to call and say, come fix it. What they're going to do is tune the sensitivities down so that now it's not going 15 by 7. It's now going 4 by 2 or something silly. So your coverage is even less. 18 to 25% coverage is what you'll get with a conventional alarm. If I show up with a can of WD-40 or hairspray, some sort of opaque film, I'll spray the motion sensor lens. It's dead. You can't tell it's dead unless you go up and you rub the lens and you'll feel that grease on it. You place things in front of these motion sensors because you're in the warehousing business, you're in the retailing business, you're in the office business. You know, today when the system is set up, the motion sensor has a clean view. Once people start using it, they're going to move their desks around. They're going to put pallets in front of it. This couldn't see if it wanted to. Door contacts. We're going to place a door contact on any movable opening. Again, the problem is, if you can visualize this, it's very simple for me to show up to the outside of the building. The door hinges out. Where the hinge is exposed on the outside of the building. All I do is pop those hinges, twist the door this way. The contact at the top of the door stays tight. There is no alarm. I'll show up with a flat bar. I'll stick it up under the door. Metal doors are hollow to about 2 inches. And I'll peel the door from the bottom corner using a vehicle or a come-along. What happens is the latch and the deadbolt act as a pivot point. The contact up top does not move. I'm in your building. Where you have, what do we want to call them, aluminum mullion around your door, I'll simply cut the aluminum mullion, the door frame itself. Now the latch and the deadbolt, there's nothing there to hold it. How you protect that is by using an astracal. That's what the locksmith will call it. It's a 3-inch anti-pry plate that comes down the face of the door to protect the mullion. I'll show up with a piece of fridge magnet. Envision that contact, again, that's at the top of the door. I'll put a piece of fridge magnet on the contact. It has contact. It says I'm okay. I can open the door. It will never go into alarm. Where your overhead doors are, where the trucks back up to do shipping and receiving, I'll lift the levelator flap of the dock, the part that kicks into the truck body. I'll lift that levelator up. It will expose the underbelly. I'll take a syringe and I'll drain the hydraulic fluid. Drain the hydraulic fluid, it will lose its pressure and drop down. I'll have a nice ramp between the levelator and the overhead door. When I'm finished my deal, I'll charge it back up again because I don't want the facility guy to know how I got in the building because I want to come back again. It's really simple for criminals to do this kind of stuff. So, lost response time, high false alarms, 98.2, which is why police are instituting that verified-only dispatch, that they'll no longer respond unless a guard, an employee, shows up and verifies that it's something. Unprotected areas. What Sonitrol does is we only sell verified technologies. We use this active audio sensor that looks like this when it's closed, goes up on the wall. This is a preamp. This preamp, we teach the sounds that are in the environment when the building is unoccupied. This audio sensor will hear people spin the deadbolt, peel the door, pop the hinges, cut the mullion, come through the roof, come through the walls, come through the window before they gain entry. When we trip, our operators make a determination between a threatening and a non-threatening sound. The simplest non-threatening sound we hear every day is a video store. You return a tape, when the video store is closed, we hear ding, 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 down into the bin and the door flap close. We'll reset the system. When it's threatening, we push a button and we auto-patch directly into your police radio room. We speak their language. We're able to tell them we have a 1036, we have a 1072. It's Vinny, he's in the Southwest shipping and receiving area. This sensor is single-point enunciated. We know exactly in the building where the break-in is occurring. We can tell them it's the roof. I'm going to play you some audio clips. You're going to hear some guys coming in through the roof. As opposed to this system that tells them it's Zone A or Zone B. I'm an officer in a cruiser and I get an alarm to Zone A. I have no idea what that is. I'm going to show up to your front door. I'm going to take a look at it and say everything looks good. I'm going to drive around the building, everything's secure. I'm going to clear the site because 98.2% of the time it's a false alarm. Whereas with Sonitrol, we're going to hear the guy trying to gain entry to the building before they get in. We're going to tell them that it's the south warehouse wall. The police are going to show up to where the activity is occurring prior to them getting into the building. So what are we able to deliver? Early detection. We hear the guy attempting to gain entry before he gets in. Intelligent information. We're able to call the police department, and because we're a verified technology, tell them exactly what's occurring. Because of that, police prioritize to us. We're a priority 1 dispatch. Our documented response is 3.5 minutes from the start of someone trying to get into the building to when we have officers on site. This system, maybe it trips. Chances are it doesn't trip. If it does trip, we call inside the building and see if anyone answers the phone. No one answers the phone, we start calling the call list. We get you at home. We say, what would you like us to do? You say, send the police. We go into the police department. We tell them we have an open line. We can't tell them that we have a burglary because 98.2% of the time it's a false alarm. It's a priority 8 dispatch. The police will respond in 20 to 60 minutes and confirm 98.2% of the time it was a waste of time, which means they're not responding to the things they should be going to. And 2% of the time they're going to say, geez, we should have been here 20 or 60 minutes ago because it was really an event. Again, this thing is solution selling. We're going to be able to have intelligent information to know exactly what's occurring. So we hear them as they're attempting to gain entry. We have a 3% false alarm rate. We're a verified technology, so we're a priority 1 dispatch. 3.5 minute response, comprehensive coverage. Each one of these audio sensors listens 50 feet forward, 40 feet to either side, 30 feet backwards, floor to ceiling. The perimeter of the facility truly is protected, not spatial coverage also already inside the building. Beyond that, we put our money where our mouths are. Most of our folks have come from the environments where they've been involved in policing or they've been involved in running businesses that were hit all the time. It used to annoy me that my conventional alarm providers would promise me the world to get the deal, and then when it didn't work, they'd say, we shoulda, coulda, woulda, Joe, you weren't listening, now we need to upgrade. We've taken all the risk away from our customers because we put our money where our mouths are.